My name is Dr. Saeel Momin. I'm the head of strategy and projects here at Startup Nation India. I'll tell you a bit about the format first. And why we are doing this.
Yeah.
So Startup Nation is organizing one of the largest, startup competitions in the world. We are trying to keep it the focus to schools and universities in India right now. So a lot of the people, a lot of the founders will be coming from the student pool of these schools, colleges, and university, mostly early stage or just at an ideation stage. What we want to do is to have conversations with different founders and allow the students to have a bit of an insight into what kind of things go behind the screen, with the founder by themselves, right? The format of this conversation is going to be very simple. We're going to only focus on three things. First is your individual journey, where you were born, what school did you go to, what college did you go to, just the basics, what transitioned that into from becoming into a startup founder today. Then we will focus on your startup specifically. And after that, we want to talk about the problems that you faced in your journey, the challenges, and how you overcame them, right? We're going to keep it a very casual.
Yeah.
So just to start, why don't you tell me about yourself? Where were you born? What were you doing before this? What's the journey been like so far? And why become a startup founder?
I was born in New Delhi in 1997, and I've done my schooling from DPS Fatra Road, which I happen to learn is the mother school of the DPS Appeal ecosystem. I've been very lucky like that, and then after graduating from school, I had a very special opportunity to go to a college that offers the Tri-City model. It is by the name of SPN School of Global Management, where my first year was in Singapore, my second year was in Dubai, and then my third and fourth year was in Sydney, Australia. After that, this was like my huge journey. I was never a very serious student, but a very curious student, I would say. And the whole journey was all about like figuring out things, and at the same time, I had this. I would not say but like a seed in my brain since my childhood that when I grow up, I want to do something really big, make a name for myself, and then more than my name, I want to make a name for a baby that I built on my own. I want to be associated with a brand name or a name that people to know me by. So that was like something I really wanted to do in life. And once I graduated from college, there was a time for 3 months where I could not find a job in Sydney, Australia, because I was put in college in terms of the complete co-curricular system. And in that system, but the idea was, and जो मुझे समझ में आया था was that like you don't have to excel in every subject. What no आपको excel करना है in life is more about how you get associated with people. Like how am I connecting with you as a person, and if I'm able to offer you something for your help, solve a problem for you as a solution, and be connected on a humanly basis where the touch point is very important, then I can build a relationship with you for life. Uh, this I learned during my school days. I did not implement it in my college. But जैसे कहते हैं ना in life आपको all opportunities मिलती है to keep on implementing things that you have learned in life. It struck me one day. I thought, यार इसको ना एक बारी try करके देखते हैं and let's see how far it takes me. And I really remember that during my college days, I started implementing it there and there to see what fits, what does not fit. But उससे एक चीज समझ में आती, there is no perfect formula to life, there is no perfect formula to business, there is no perfect formula to how you could live your life. So I have to find that my own path or how I want to move forward. And when I did that, we let go for 3 months. But in those 3 months, I met two very solid network of people I could bang on, or they could get in touch with me whenever they got stuck and they could not find us. And it would be connected. So, ये करते करते I found one very good opportunity with a company, and man, थोड़ा just taking a step back, I would like to say कि when I was doing this, I did not take any money from home. I wanted to be completely self-reliant, self-independent man. And I only had the very few, like I had money for 1 week, and I did not have money to pay rent in a very expensive city like Sydney. Uh, I would say I wanted to, like that. At that point, I thought it's like a punishment to myself. But I haven't done anything wrong, but I still want to punish myself. But on the other end, I wanted to become self-reliant. So it was very important as the lesson I had to learn on my own. तो जब मैं ये करने गया for the first 3 months, I had no job, I had no money, my rent was due, I had only money to survive like for 1 week after I graduated. My parents used to ask me, yeah, देखो थोड़े पैसे भेज दे और how you want to manage your, like till the like you don't find your job. So I said, no, I have enough money, मैं अपना manage कर लूँगा. So during that time, I started doing a lot of odd jobs, which is the start of an entrepreneurial journey. To find your own path. When I started doing those odd jobs, like odd jobs like becoming a postal boy for let's say $20 an hour in Sydney. It was very good money and $20, but as a part time, not as a full time. Because full time pay वहाँ पे used to be about $14-15 fixed, right? So उससे ज़्यादा मिलता था, but part time होता था तो पता नहीं होता था आज मिला है तो next कब मिलेगा. So I started doing that. I did that for about 3 months, but I started already money more than other people would, because I had this one thing in my mind, fear of in failing yourself, not others, failing yourself. Here I promised something to myself. I wanted to make sure that I move on the journey and I not give up. And they taught me a lot of things side by side. And most importantly, it taught me how to survive in a difficult market. And in a market where you have it's Telugu, it's a foreign country. You don't have any relatives or your parents to save you. No one's going to save you. Even if the government's going to take at least 24 hours and they need to have a visa.
Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, most importantly, यार आप ही हो, आपने अपने आप ही करना है और इसको आगे लेके जाता है. 2 हफ्ते में या तो गिव अप कर दो या फिर आगे बढ़ते हो. So I chose my matter what it was more difficult, I would say. But those 3 months taught me within my college state. It taught me more than NBA could teach me, and it taught me the way forward in life and what next I have to do in life. At the same time, these 3 months, it brought so much fire inside. You know, here I need to come for a job for 3 months in Australia, where I would say, every person in my university was getting a job. Every friend of mine in my college was getting a job. Even my three college long before me. And मैं एक अपना न्यू एवरेज स्टूडेंट था, मुझे जॉब भी नहीं मिलती है. So what's doing, but this is a thing that it kept on getting kindling that fire that took living more and more. Landed an opportunity which like this Deloitte one day. And I knew which wisely, people give me there. I am more going to give this opportunity. May I be full dedication, full hours, and more than hours, I'll become like the best employee they had ever seen. Such big company where there are 4,000 people working, and I have to outtrain myself. So, when I was doing this, I started understanding what business is, what business relationships mean, and what simple reliance in yourself means. And if you have that kind of confidence in yourself, then there is no one that can stop you. तो जब ड्यूटी गई स्टार्टेड कोई वही थॉट किया अब इस जर्नी को पढ़ रहे हैं, पीछे मुड़ के नहीं देखना है और आगे बढ़ना है. तो आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग इट्स नॉट एडवाइस फॉर एनीवन. आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग 16 hours a day in Deloitte to outshine everyone in the company. I worked there for 2.5 years. I started as a trivial analyst with very minimal, basic salary. CFE where you don't even pay tax to the government, how basic that salary was. And within 2.5 years of my journey, I got 4 promoters. I started leading a team of 27 people. And most importantly, I was able to create a very big impact where I became one of the exemplary leaders of my journey with Deloitte of the year. तो ये करने के बाद I realized कि And ये वो टाइम है जब कोविड हिट कर गया था. So this is 2020. Past 2020 COVID I did. It was my first year in Deloitte. I had already got more promotions and I had a team to manage. My first set of fee was 7 members. My second set of fee was 27 members. तो जब फर्स्ट वेव फॉरवर्ड टेक कर चुकी थी और सेकेंड वेव जस्ट पहले की बात है, we were all working from home. So I had to make sure that I am full of confidence, my team is full of confidence, we all are achieving targets together. And more importantly, the world is not stopping, so are we fine. So we are also not stopping. And the mental stability of everyone in the team is intact because it was such a bad pace. I don't know if you know this or not, but Chennai was one of the worst things.
Yeah.
Melbourne was completely gone. And Chiki was next to saying सिक्ति का टाइम आएगा and then it's going to be cupcake time where आपके पास एकदम वो cases होंगे. So everyone was really worried at the same time because people lost their job. So इस टाइम पे you have to manage yourself, but you have to manage a team where 20 people are looking at you, and I'm always a bit of here as a NICO. If I'm in a quarter book my passive friends and I have to be the communicator, that if people are going to drop tomorrow, I don't want to be in that role. So when convince my team to game here, I understand that it's a scenario around the world. We fall on it together. It's not like you are a little thought or I'm a little or you're not. Equally, all of us are into it. But work has to particular because again we get some money out of it where we can get a likes. If we make that supper, then there is no way to build up income, and if there is no income in this very pathetic period of economic world, then you imagine what will happen. So I used kept my very honest, fearful communication to my team, but they used to resonate with me. Once I was never speaking them as a bandit, I was speaking to them as a human being. And together we will all before we work with the PR this day. It made us really strong. And I can assure you this, none of the team members of my team will ever under the job till the time I was managing them as a manager, deal leader. And even though they were the people block cuts during that time in Deloitte, and at the same time, I realized one thing when we were going working home that other case industry में इतना potential है and there's so much career can grow. And what I could see was कि there are many new skilled people who have that very straight focus in life or that straight vision in life, and वो उसके लिए अपने हंड्रेड्स भी देख के करना चाहते हैं, so then they can outstand it. तो आई फिगर आउट कि यार अगर यहाँ पे इतना पोटेंशियल है, इंडिया में कितना पोटेंशियल होगा और इंडिया में किस कुछ नगश्य में इतना पोटेंशियल होगा. ये सोचते हुए आई डिसाइड इट्स टाइम टू पिक अप टू एन मंथ्स यार ये वेरी गुड लर्निंग्स में me एक dimension से I am grown so much of things. Now it's time to go back to our home country. Even though they were giving me a PR citizenship in Australia because they loved what my dedication towards the company, my loyalty towards the company. But I told them, I go to do something big in life, but that big in life I never thought of doing it as an employee of a company. I want to go on my own path and take my own being in an industry where I can outshine others. So I decided this and packed up my bags and I came back home. Here's the journey. Yes, for the question you asked.
No, I get it. And honestly, I can relate to because I did my bachelor's of science, my first degree from UCID in Sydney. So I have my people there, my friends. So I know how difficult that journey was during COVID for everybody. And it is commendable that you've gotten through that with you and your team. Tell me about your startup, NICO Nanotubes, because from what I've understood so far, you are nowhere close to science and technology or nanotechnology. And suddenly you are a founder of a nanotech company. I know this because my background's in nanotechnology. How did that happen? Why you're doing what you're doing? Tell me, start with an introduction of your startup.
Sure. To start the introduction of my startup, and the very important question you asked me is on the history of my core expertise and what I'm doing today. And I have to go back a few years. I have to tell you my first company that I started.
Yep.
So when I went back home, I saw this very massive opportunity in the bucket under water treatment technology. And why I was able to do this was because I had Alta Corner project in my college, where it was all about water treatment in sectors like sort of third countries and third world countries and the massive gap they play. And उसमें से एक नाम India had, and I was retained to represent the country where water treatment was out of priority. Uh, I decided that day that, when I had the guts to do something, I want to do it in this sector. So the first company I started, unfortunately, I'm in a confidentiality agreement with Surface, so I can't name that. But I tell you about the technology. So we started making blowers. Blowers are something which is from the aviatic technology system. In fact, we commonly trample when I give to my customers is also can a fish aquarium fan, if you've ever seen one, वहाँ पे flat radiator pump लगा होता है. Yeah. That flat radiator pump is spinning in atmospheric air and making bubbles and sea air. The bubbles over here, it's when unpumps filters to basically maintain natural oxygen like inside the water so they can drop that oxygen and create a their life. Okay, in a very simple language to be put, but there's like no science there.
No. I get where you're coming from. I get what you're. What? So the company still exists, or has that failed somewhere? Okay, it still exists.
No. So we did that for quite a few times. And we got a opportunity in the market where the idea was to use something so revolutionary that everyone gets opted to it immediately. Okay. So when we started doing this, we got the opportunity from a US brand. It's a $45 billion company.
Yeah.
Dan wanted to come and outright buy us immediately because we were able to create the queue in the market where we would not just offering a product in the market, but at same time you offering a consultation in the market to a customer where smooth creature is very important. We call that power floating in light. So if we did that in a span of less than 5 years, new companies one hound so to somewhere where you became biggest appreciator.
What you said is very true. There's certain things that you can hire for. Certain things come from within, and not just that, but even if your technologies are somewhat similar, you need to create a business model for yourself, and at the same time create a USP for your own business that the customers can associate and align with more than the competitors, right? That's something I want to talk to you about. When you were initially testing this out, obviously you came from a very strong consulting background, so you had a very analytical mind to bifurcate your markets and bring them down to, let's say, okay, this is my
Narrow
niche
them down,
market,
yeah.
and then I can target these accordingly, and this would be the strategy. But I want to understand the initial failures that you guys faced. What experiments did you try out, and what type of failures did you face at the initial stage when you just launched? Right, when you just created a go-to-market strategy, how did you start? How did you create your go-to-market strategy, and how did you optimize it?
See, in India, there is this one very bad habit. It's by all the customers that they want very good technology for free. See, and it's everywhere in India. That's very outspoken. Also, got a lot of founder built it too.
Yeah.
So they be. But that became an excuse for us. What we were focused on was, for a very important customer, and our strategy was very simple. You go to any industry, let's say we target aquaculture industry, which is where you grow these industrial fishes for selling in the market. I was dealing with a very farmer directly, so it was B2C for me. But I knew one thing here that मैं एक बड़े पापा को पकड़ लूँ एक रीजन let's say I went to आंध्र प्रदेश और मैं वहाँ के एक हेड को पकड़ लूँ ठीक है मैं उसको ये ब्लोर फ्री में देता हूँ और 3 months एंड टेनेंट ईयर आप इसको चलो आप इसका एक्सपेंस देखो अगर आपको ये स्प्रिंग मिलेगा तो आप इसमें लेना नहीं ना आपको एक बस से मौका सर्वर मटेरियल और एक सीट पार देकर आती क्या प्रॉब्लम आई
Where you're coming from, and that's very important to do that. Unfortunately, I would love to have you for a longer conversation, but I have to cut short here because I have another call after this. Anyway, thank you so much, Anant. I'll talk to you another time, and I'll take my leave. All right? Cheers, man.